What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another pretty cool little review for you. This knife provided by Fred the Lug. Thank you, Fred, for sending me some of your cool knives to take a look at. If y'all are interested in buying some of Fred's knives, they're available on the Discord link down below. Also, thanks to everyone that sends me knives to look at. Eddie, Pons, Carco, everyone. Really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you guys. Hit the like button if you like my content. Subscribe if you want more of it. Thanks to all my Patreons, channel members, people that send me knives like Fred. And yeah, without further ado, this is the Tacray knives, and as they listed on their website, it says Tacray knives reverse Tanto flipper with titanium handle. Fred's calling it the horn, so I'm gonna go with the horn on this one. Might be wrong on that, but Fred's pretty OCD about his knives, so I'm gonna go with the Tacray horn. That's how he's got it listed here. So this one is a Chinese made knife company. They do a lot of different things. I've been looking at their website. They got a lot of box cutters knives, chef's knives, fold knives, stuff like that. So some pretty unique looking stuff, and this was no exception. Let's go ahead and do an overall measurement on it. Go ahead and get into the specs, the overall specs. Now, not especially a large knife at all, really. What I would consider more like the medium size class. Looking at 6 and right at 6 5/8 on the overall length. On your blade length, right at 3 inches. If you go back to where the blade meets up with the handle there. Sharpened edge length, you're looking at 2 7/8 on the sharpened edge length on this one. Go ahead and get a blade stock thickness check on it. Get out the calipers. Relatively thick blade stock, actually, sitting at right around 162 thousandths. And let's see, let's check the behind the edge going down to the belly there. Goes down to about 29 thousandths behind the edge. Kind of a thick boy too when you look at it. 500 and almost 560 thousandths on the overall handle thickness. Not super duper thick, but for such a small knife, you definitely know you got a hold of something there. So there's your blade stock thickness check, the calibers, the overall measurements. Let's go ahead and get out some of the usual suspects here. We'll do the cold steel knives 80-10 and the Demco knives 80-20.5. So there you can see smaller than both. And get out the Ontario knives Rat Model 1. And the Ontario knives Rat Model 2. Closer to the Rat 2, of course, but still smaller than the Rat 2. With a little bit more cutting edge the way it looks in the Rat 2, though. Spyderco knives Paramilitary 2. And your Spyderco pair of 3. Pair of 3, longer overall length. Again, has more cutting edge than the pair of 3. And let's see what else I got that's around comparable size. What about the Pony Stout? Let's see, this is a Devo Knives Premium Pony Stout. Pretty close, actually. Pretty close in overall length to the Pony Stout there. Pony Stout with a little bit less cutting edge, a little more forward finger choil going on there. Alright, so that's going to do it for the size comparisons. Let's get out the scale here. Get a weight on it. Smaller knife, but pretty substantial. I don't know. I'm gonna guess 3.5 ounces will be my guess on it. 3.8. So yeah, definitely for the ounce and inch ratio, a little heavy, but still 3.8, 3.9. Not too big of a deal though. You know, I mean, even in dress pants, I don't think that's too bad. Speaking of, we'll get out the blue jeans here. Check her out in the pocket. Kind of a tight fitting little pocket clip. Milled titanium pocket clip though. Looks pretty good. Carries pretty well, you know. Definitely a tight pocket clip for sure. Just wanting to rip the denim out of the old blue jeans there. But that is an old blue jean pocket. It's been through a lot of knives, right? So that's carryability. Let's go ahead and do hardware check. I get out the T8 on this NAFS driver here. Thinking that might be a T6 though. Got a T8 in there. go ahead and put that, yeah, T6. So I'm thinking body screw, yeah, T6 on the body screw, T6 on the other body screw, and let's check the T8 on the pivot. I think it's a T8 on the pivot. Yep, T8 on the pivot. So wish they would have went with T8 all the way around, and it's not a captive pivot, but you know, just be careful if you use T6 hardware. It does strip fairly easily, so not a whole lot of hardware on this one though, so that's a good thing. All right, pretty straightforward build, pretty straightforward design. Getting into my kind of like review, my thoughts on the knife. Aesthetically, I think it looks pretty good, pretty unique, you know. Kind of got that Vero-esque reminiscent Fuller look going on there. You know, not a full cutout, but you know, kind of definitely a spot where you can grab it, get in there and do the reverse flick. Kind of hard to get in there. Wish they would have cut that out a little more, you know, as far as the reverse flick, but definitely not impossible. Just got to kind of get used to it a little bit, and then after that it goes pretty well every time, so no issues there. You got the front flipper. I could see why this would be called the horn, because of that super aggressive front flipper. Not too big of a fan of that, but it does work pretty well. You know, I can index it like that, front flip it with my thumb, works pretty well. So the means of deployment are there on it. Fairly fidgetable little knife, really. All right, so one thing about this knife that stands out is if you look at that, the steel ZDP-189, that's a pretty cool steel. Tacray right there on the other side, not a whole lot of billboard, and that's cool, but ZDP-189 is, to my understanding of it, my experience with it has been mostly on the Rosalinda, but ZDP-189 is comparable to M4, a little bit better than M4 as far as edge retention goes. Very high HRC required to heat treat ZDP-189. It is corrosive, so it will rust fairly quick. Not as quick as something like 15V, but it will rust. It is not a stainless steel. It is a powder metallurgy steel though, so that's pretty cool. As far as ergonomics goes, right here is pretty much where you're locked in, you know, and that's not uncomfortable. It's not the most comfortable you know, grip I've ever had by any means on a knife, but it's not too uncomfortable, I guess will be the right way to say it. So you can't really like choke up, you know, you can't, there's pretty much when you grab it right there, that's how you're grabbing it. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're a fan of ergonomics. Not the best in the world as far as ergonomics, but not too terrible. You got that nice back spacer there, that's pretty cool. Always enjoy a back spacer on a knife. A little bit of jimping on that front flipper, no jimping on the spine. Actuation again, fairly easy with the front flipper, and definitely can use the reverse flick if you kind of get used to the knife a little bit. Really super clean aesthetics, I think. I believe they have some other versions of this one, not sure. This is available. These go for $150, which is, in my opinion, a pretty good price for a titanium handled ZDP-189 knife. I think that is a really good price. They are available. I'll try to link them when I upload the video. TacrayKnife.com is where they're available at. So yeah, overall, not a bad little knife. You know, there's a few things I could have done better. The cutout for that, for the lock bar, you don't really need, the way it's set up right now, a cutout, right? So you just put your thumb over it and it deactuates pretty easy peasy. You know, you don't have to really like dig for it or anything. But if they would have cut out a little bit more on that side, would have gave you a little bit better access to the lock bar, but it also would enable that reverse flick to be a little easier. But the way this one is, that horn that sticks out there, front flipping it is pretty easy, pretty solid lock up, pretty good front flipper. So overall, I think it's a pretty decent little knife and a really good price on it. If you want to check them out, again, check out the website. I'll try to link it down below. Thanks to all my channel members. Thanks to Fred the Lug for sending this along, and a few others for me to look at. Really appreciate it, Fred. Thanks to all my Patreons, channel members. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe right down there if you want more of it. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, even whenever you're watching this. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Stay sharp.